For today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 things that I wish I would have known before starting to ride horses. Hope you enjoy. All right, for today's video, I'm using my buddy Weed that's going to show us today's video. I know, what a funny name for a horse, right? When he was a colt, though, he liked eating the weeds before all the grass hay, so we named him Weed because of that. So, all right, so number 1 today is the first thing I wish I would have known before I started riding horses was a one-rein stop. So let me tell you about this. So normally when you stop riding a horse, right, or when you want to stop, you're gonna sit your body down, keep your heels down, give a whoa, and ultimately pull the reins if you need to give a stop. Okay, that's your normal stop. But a one-rein stop is kind of like your emergency brake on a car. So your car brake normally works, right? But someday that car or that brake could fail you, and you've got an emergency brake for it. So you also have that for a horse too. So let me discuss what a one-rein stop is. If a horse is motivated enough to run away from you or run away from the situation, if you try your one-rein stop, he's gonna kind of forget about you, and he's gonna bolster up his shoulders, bolster up his neck, and push through the stop. If this happens, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do this. You're gonna forget about your 2 reins. You're gonna drop one side like this, and with the other side, you're gonna slide your hand down and bump, 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 and bring his head back to the side like this. Now this is something you can do on either side of the horse. You can slide this rein, bump, bump, bump if you need to, and bring that head to the side. Now, the best way to do this one-rein stop is before it's a terrible emergency. So if all of a sudden you think that your horse is about to leave you and run away from you, you quickly do a one-rein stop, slide his head back to the side, and you hold on that until he stops moving all 4 of his feet also. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate this out a little bit, because normally when a horse kind of runs away from you, it's either at a standstill or at a walk or at a trot, right? I'm going to kind of go like this. I'm going to kind of zigzag back into frame here. But as you go, like let's say something scared your horse, a mountain lion comes out of nowhere, right? And he moves off. You're gonna sit back, hold, slide that rein, bump, bump, bump. If he's still trying to go ahead through your stop, you're gonna use your leg and put pressure on his inside of his body, bend him in half. Back in the old days, they called that doubling a horse, and you bring your horse to a stop. You don't let this go until he stops all 4 of his feet, and then you have your hand ready to go again if you need to. This, my friends, is called the one-rein stop. All right, the second thing that I wished I'd known before I started riding horses was the importance of legs and how they communicate to the horse. Okay, so legs tell the horse how to move his body. Your hand and your reins, hands and reins, tell the horse how to move his neck and his head. So legs, there's 3 positions in which your leg can touch the horse. The leg can come up here a little bit behind his shoulder, which tells him to push his shoulder over. The leg can be back here a little bit and tell him to move his hip over a little bit. Or the leg can go in the center to tell him to move his whole body sideways like this. Or to give a little bit of curvature in his body and bend his rib cages. Legs are so important when riding horses. It must look like pure magic, actually, for people that don't know that legs is how you move a horse's body. So remember, 3 positions on the legs. Your legs should mainly be off like this when you're riding. You should see lots of sunshine between your leg and the horse's body, the barrel of the horse, but they touch to give a signal to the horse of how he moves his body. All right, the third thing that I wished I'd known before I started riding horses is a concept that's been said a myriad of different ways by different trainers throughout the decades, throughout the centuries, is pressure motivates, and the release of pressure is how they learn. So when talking with a horse, pressure motivates, the release of pressure is how they learn. So let me tell you what I mean by this. If you're gonna put some pressure on a horse, that means that you want something out of the horse. So for instance, if I want his head to go this way, I'm gonna put some pressure down here and ask for his head to come this way. But I'm gonna release that pressure when I'm happy with what he's done. And this nice feller, he said, all right, I'll leave it there. If you wanna keep my head there and have no pressure on me there, I'll leave my head there. If you'd like to back up, notice I've got lots of sunshine between my legs, but I'm gonna push my energy back, touch my calves if I need to, and immediately release my calves. Pressure motivates, the release of pressure is how they learn. Okay, what I see a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it too as I was learning how to ride horses, is we think that we have to continue to pressure a horse and keep our legs either on or keep pulling or something, and the horse, what ends up happening is that they just start to dull to it because they're like, you don't really expect anything and there's no way for me to escape from this pressure. And so back to pressure motivates, the release of pressure is how they learn. So be quick to release that pressure, my friends. So like if I'm gonna ask him to move his shoulder this way, I'm gonna open up this rein, touch my right leg towards his shoulder to move him over and quickly release that pressure. Now I'm coming back this way, quickly release that pressure, release. You see my leg come off super fast, right? Open again, touching my right foot, quickly release, quickly release. Pressure motivates, the release of pressure is how they learn. All right, for number 4, what I have is paying attention to your horse. Okay, so what I mean by that is, I remember when I was starting to learn how to ride, I was thinking more about myself and what was I doing? Was I in the right place? And I wasn't paying as much attention to my horse. And so what I mean by that is talking to your horse is what I mean, right? Listening to him and you talking to him. Watching where he's looking, where are his eyes going. I've noticed as my horsemanship has grown and I pay more attention to my horse, I can fix so many more issues before they become an issue, before it becomes an emergency, because I just merely watch where he's looking, where are his eyes looking, what's going on with his ears. Does he have an ear pointed towards me? Are his ears high and pointed off somewhere else? What's he doing with his ears? The eyes are an interesting thing because when a horse blinks, that shows he's kind of relaxed, right? If his eyes are super wide out like this, right, and big old brown eyes or whatever the color eyes of your horse is, that could mean he's a little bit alert, right? And he's looking to be scared about something, right? You can learn a lot about through the breath of a horse. When he takes a big sigh, that shows that he's relaxed or happy or content, but different than a big kind of a breath, right? Where he's really blowing out some steam, right? The other thing is with his head, you can tell a lot about a horse. If his head is low and soft, you can tell he's more on the relaxed side. If it's high and stretched out, he's more on the defensive side or the flight side of things. The other thing is I like watching his legs. A lot of times you'll see horses when they're relaxing, they'll have a back leg that's cocked up like this, and that shows that they're relaxed. He's kind of ready for me to do whatever. Now here's another thing he just did, was he licked and chewed his lips a little bit. Horses love to salivate, you know, and wet their mouths, but they only really do it when they're relaxed. If they're not licking their lips, it means they're tense and they're nervous. And so anyway, there's a few signs for you to pay attention of, and pay attention where your horse is. Pay attention where the horse's feet are too, right? I've seen a lot of riders, and I've done it too, where I've inadvertently asked the horse to come to me, and I've inadvertently pulled him onto my own foot and got stepped on by my own horse. And whose fault was that? Nobody's but my own, because I pulled his foot on towards mine. All right, there's number 4. All right, for number 5 and the 5th item today of the things I wished I would have known before I started riding horses, This one is called Eyes on Me. I wish I would have known about this one because of how important it is, right? When a horse is looking at you with both eyes, that's very respectful. When a horse is looking at you with his rear end, it's very disrespectful. And so you think about for all of the things, right? When you're trying to catch him, when you're trying to move around him, when you're trying to shoe his, give him new shoes, when you're trying to just do all these things, right, with a horse. If all of a sudden he doesn't have his eyes on you and turns his butt towards you, that's not going to be a good thing, my friends. So a lot of times where this works is in the exercise of lunging, right? So you want your horse to move, and you want him to move, so you don't want both eyes on you right now, but you do want this inside eye looking at you, right? So notice how I just touched that just a little bit of saying, hey, keep that eyeball on me and keep that ear in at me, telling you what to do. Then I'm going to stop him. Oh, and we've trained him nicely to give 2 eyes on me. In fact, I'm going to make him move his hip. That's probably a bad angle for the video, but his eyes are on me, and that's what I care about. I want him paying attention to me. Now, if he were to walk up into my space too without me inviting him, I'm going to ask him to stay in his space. Nope. Yep, stay in your space. You can see I could almost feel that he was thinking of coming in, right? When I invite him to come into my space, oh, he's more than welcome, right? I'm not really in the habit of training a 1,000-pound animal to come into my space without me asking him. Now I'd like you to move out of my space, please. A little harder. But I still want your eyes on me. Okay, so eyes on me, guys. If you're paying attention to their eyes though too, what that does is that makes it so you're paying attention to your horse too. A lot of folks think that horses are kind of like cruise control. Set them on control and you don't really have to do much. But that's not the case. You gotta keep watching them and keep eyeballing them and be in unity with them, right? Feel what they feel, think what they think, and it'll be a lot better for you. All right, folks. So this has been my list of the 5 things that I wish I would have known before I started riding horses. But I'm interested in what you think. If you disagree or if you had other things that you wish you would have known before you started riding horses, I'm very interested. Please put them down in the comments below and like and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching today. All right, hey, if this video has been helpful for you, please like and subscribe to our channel. It does a lot to help us grow our channel, and we sure appreciate you. Also, thanks for letting me live my dream. I love to teach and I love to ride horses for a living, and so thanks for watching today. We're going to leave a link at the end of the video to go visit our website, where we're offering more in-depth horse lessons and horse riding lessons, and you can take a look at our content on our website. Thanks so much.